It's the AQA GCSE Maths Foundation Calculator Paper 2 from November 2023. Let's get straight into it. Question 1, convert 800 centimetres into metres. We know that in 1 metre there's 100 centimetres, and we're converting from centimetres to metres, so that means we need to divide by 100. So 800 divided by 100 will just leave me with 8 divided by 1, which is 8. The temperature was negative 11 and increases by 5 degrees. We're starting at negative 11 and we're adding 5. You can use a calculator for this, but it would be negative 6. Question 3. Here is a grid. What percentage of the grid is shaded? So this is a 100 squares grid. We just need to count how many columns have shaded in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So altogether there's 60 that have been shaded in. So it'd be 60%. Part B, here is a different grid. What percentage of the grid is shaded? So first let's write it as a fraction. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are shaded, and that's out of 10, 15, 20, 25. So it's 5 out of 25. So you can type this onto your calculator and multiply it by 100, but I'll just simplify it so it becomes 1/5. That as a decimal is 0.2, and if I multiply that by 100, I get 20%. Another way you could do it is 5 over 25, and you can multiply the top and the bottom by 4, because that would get you to 100 as the denominator, and 5 times by 4 is 20, so both ways would be fine. Question 4, solve x over 3 equals 6, so x is being divided by 3, opposite of that is times it by 3 on both sides. 6 times by 3 is 18, so x is equal to 18, and if you test that, 18 divided by 3 does give you 6. Part B, solve 2x plus 3 equals 27, x is being multiplied by 2, and then we're adding 3, so we need to do the opposites of that. We need to take away the 3 first, and then we need to divide by 2. So 2x plus 3 equals 27. Let's take away 3 first from both sides. 2x would be equal to 24. Divide by 2 on both sides. X would be equal to 12. Just substitute that back in just to check it. Question 5, work out 9/4 as a decimal. So you can just type this into your calculator, press the S to D button, and it would change it for you. But I know that this is the same as 2 and 1/4. I know 1/4 is the same as 0.25, so it's going to be 2.25. Question 6, complete the bank statement. We've got some dates, we've got some descriptions of what's being paid in and out. We've got credit, and we've got debit and balance. So balance is just the final amount. The debit is the amount that's going out. So you can see it's rent, so that would be the amount that's going out. A refund would be the amount that's coming in, and wages is the amount that's coming in. We just need to complete this statement. So first thing that we're going to do is £736.28, and we're going to minus 450. So 736.28 minus 450, which is 286.28. We're going to add on 25, which is 311.28. Then add 1830.29. So 2141.57. 2141.57. Question 7, put all the numbers 4, 5, 6, 10 and 20 into the grid so that the numbers in each row and each column multiply to 120. So we're looking for a row or a column that has one missing piece of information. So I can see I could either do that one first or I could do that one first. I'll just do this one first. I've got 12 times 1, which is 12, and 120 divided by 12 would be 10. Then I've got 3 times 10, which would be 30, and 30 would times by 4 to give me 120. I can do this one. 12 times 2 is 24. 120 divided by 24, that would be 5. 4 times 5 is 20. We need 20 times by 6 to get to 120. 6 times by 1 is 6, and 120 divided by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2, so it's going to be 20. And you can just check each row and column just to make sure you've got it correct. Question 8, the graph below is used to convert pounds and Norwegian kroner. Part A, convert 720 kroner into pounds. I can see this is my kroner, this is my y-axis, and I've got 700 there, 800 there. There's 5 gaps, so that means each gap would be worth 20. So I need to read across at 720, which would be over here. Read down, and that would be at £60. Part B, convert £500 into kroner. So on the graph, I don't have it going up to £500. So either I could find what £50 is, or I could find what £100 is and just scale it up. Could do it with anything, but I think 50 or 100 would be the easiest. So if I read up from 50 and I go across, I know £50 is equal to 600 kroner. I need to multiply that by 10 so that I get 500. So I times that by 10 and I times that by 10. So 600 times by 10 would be 6,000 kroner. Question 9. Connor is estimating the answer to 385 plus 1,479. he rounds each number to the nearest 10, work out his estimate. So if we're rounding this to the nearest 10, we're looking for the 10 column, and the one after that is going to tell us how we're rounding it. The 5 is telling me that I'm going to be rounding up. 5 or above, I give it a shove. 4 or below, I let it go. So it's going to become 390. This one, I've got 1479. So same again, my tens column is this 7, and that means I'm going to be rounding up again, so it'd be 1480. We just need to add both of those together. So 1480 plus 390, which is 1870. Part B. Connor says, my estimate will be more than the exact answer. How does he know this without working out the exact answer? So in both of these, we rounded this number up to 390, and we rounded this number up to 1480. That means we're using larger numbers than we actually have, so the answer will be larger than it actually should be. So both numbers have been rounded up, therefore it will be greater than the actual answer. Question 10. Here are the salaries in pounds of the 6 workers in a company. Work out the mean salary. To work out mean, we find the total and we divide it by the frequency. The frequency just means how many numbers are there. So let's add up all of these. So 18,300 plus 20,700 plus 21,500, and that's 3 times, plus 99,000, and that gives me a total of 202,500. So total is equal to 202,500. I just need to divide this number by my frequency, and it tells me in the question how many there are. There are 6, so I divide it by 6, and my answer is 33,750. So 33,750. Part B, why is the mean not the best average to represent the salaries? If I take a look at all of these numbers, I can see that this number is an outlier. It's far greater than the rest of them, so it's affecting the rest of the data. If I take a look at the mean as well, this mean is greater than most of these people, so I think a median would be more appropriate. But for this question, all we need to say is that 99,000 is skewing the data as it is an outlier. Question 11. Zoe's mass is 55 kilos. Work out her mass in stones and pounds. Use 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds and 14 pounds is equal to 1 stone. Let's first convert these kilos into pounds. So we know 1 kilo is equal to 2.2 pounds. We're trying to find what 55 kilos are. So on the left hand side, we've multiplied by 55. On the right hand side, we also need to multiply by 55. 2.2 times 55 is 121. So it's 121 pounds, and we need to convert these pounds into stones and pounds. So how many stones are there in 121 pounds? This is almost like we're converting 121 over 14 from an improper fraction to a mixed number. So we just need to think how many 14s appear in 121. I'm going to do 121 divided by 14. That tells me that there are 8 wholes in 121. So that's 8. We need to figure out how many are remaining. So I'm going to do 8 multiplied by that 14, which tells me that would be 112. So I have 9 remaining. 121 take away 112 is 9. So I've got 8 and 9 14ths. This is telling me I've got 8 stones and 9 pounds remaining. So 8 stones and 9 pounds. Question 12. A sauce is made from cream and stock in the ratio cream to stock is in the ratio 1 to 6. How much sauce can be made using 80 milliliters of cream? So we're going to use 80 milliliters of cream. So that means on the left hand side, I've multiplied by 80. And on the right hand side, I also need to multiply by 80. 6 times 8 is 48, so it's going to be 480. We want to know how much sauce it's going to be. So it's 80, add 480, which is 560. So that's 560 milliliters. Part B, a different sauce is made from olive oil and tomato juice in the ratio olive oil to tomato juice, so olive oil to tomato is 1 to 14. What fraction of this sauce is olive oil? So how many total parts do we have altogether? We have 1 add 14, which is equal to 15, and olive oil is taking 1 out of 15 of those parts. Question 13. Multiplying y by 6 gives the same result as adding 15 to y. Write this as an equation. Let's concentrate on this bit first. 6 multiplied by y is the same as 6y, and 15 add y is equal to 15 add y. Show that the value of y is not 4, so we just need to prove it's not 4. All I'm going to do is substitute 4 into here, so I'm substituting y equals 4, and hopefully this is it true. So 6, this y is changing to a 4 now, so multiplied by 4 is equal to 15 add, and this y has also become 4, and hopefully this is not true. So 6 times 4 is 24, 15 add 4 is 19, so that means it's not true, therefore y is not 4. Question 14. A golf club is organising a trip for 42 people. The costs are shown in the table. The minibus is £450, fuel is £26 per minibus, and for one game it's £18.50. Each minibus can hold 15 people, so let's just think how many minibuses will we need. If each minibus can hold 15 and we have 42 people altogether, so 15, 30, 45, that means we're going to need 1, 2, 3 minibuses altogether. Each person will play 2 games of golf, and if there's 42 people and they're each playing 2, we're doing 42 times 2 is equal to 84, so it's going to be 84 games of golf. The cost of the trip will be shared equally by the 42 people, so all I need to do at the end, once I've got my total cost, I divide it by 42. Let's first work out the total cost of all the buses. So we know we're going to get 3 buses altogether, and the cost of those buses are the cost of the rental, the £450, plus the fuel that we're spending on each bus. 450 plus 26 is 476, and multiply that by 3, which is 1428. That's the buses done. Let's do the games now. So we know there's 84 games in total, and we're spending £18.50 on each of those games. So it's 84 multiplied by £18.50, which is 1554. Let's find the total cost. So we just need to add up both of these numbers together. So 1428 plus 1554, which is 2982. And I just need to share it equally between the 42 people. So 2982 divided by 42, and that gives me an answer of 71. So it's £71 per person. Question 15. An ordinary fair dice is rolled 10 times. Here are the first 9 results: 6, 1, 3, 2, 1, 5, 5, 5, 5. So quite a few 5s at the end. Write down the probability of getting a 5 on the 10th roll. So even though it looks like there's a lot of 5s appearing, it's an ordinary fair dice. Fair just means that all of the probabilities are equal to each other. So it's still going to be 1, and there's 6 faces on a die, so it's 1 out of 6. Question 16. R to W is in the ratio 1 to 4. So R to W, 1 to 4. We want to find what R squared to W squared is. All we need to do here is square both of these. So 1 squared, 1 times 1 is 1. 4 squared, 4 times 4 is going to be 16. Question 17. A rectangle is drawn on a square grid. On the grid, draw a congruent rectangle. Congruent just means it needs to be exactly the same. So this has a height of 2 and a length of 4. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Height of 2, length of 4. Do this with a ruler and just join them all up. Part B, here is a rectangle on a different square grid. On this grid, draw a similar rectangle which is not congruent. Similar just means that it's been enlarged. So you can have enlargements that make the rectangle bigger, or you can have enlargements that make the rectangle smaller. I'm just going to make it a little bit easier, make it smaller. So I'm going to divide all the sides by 2. So that height of 2 will become 1, and that length of 4 will become 2. You could double it or whatever you want to do, but I think that's the easiest. Question 18. A box contains 36 chocolates. I can see I'm going to have to complete the two-way table, so I'm going to try and fill out part of it whilst I'm reading the question. So because this is my final total, I'm going to add a row or a column. My total, which would be over here, is 36. The chocolates are milk or dark and have hard or soft centers, so that's already on the table. And 4/9 of the chocolates have soft centers. So the total of all of the soft centers is 4/9. We need to find 4/9 of 36. So you could do 4/9 times 36, or do 36 divided by 9, which is 4, and 4 times 4, which is 16. So the total that have soft centers are 16. There are twice as many milk chocolates as dark. So milk to dark is in the ratio 2 to 1. So milk has 2 parts and dark has 1 part. Altogether, there are 3 parts, which is equal to 36 chocolates. So 1 part would be equal to, I divided that by 3, I'll divide this by 3, so that's 12. So 2 times 12 is 24. The total milk ones are going to be 24, and we know what 1 part is, it's just 12. And you can see 24 and 12 gives me 36. That's that one done. 5 of the dark chocolates have soft centers. Dark and soft, that's already done. So now we can fill in the rest of the table. So you're looking for a row or a column where you have one missing piece of information. So I'll do this one first. 16 take away 5 gives 11. 24 take away 11 gives 13. And then here I've got 36 take away 16, which is 20. And then 20 take away 13, which is 7. And you can just do a quick check. That adds up to 24, that adds up to 12, that adds up to 20, that adds up to 16. So we know it's correct. One chocolate is chosen at random. What is the probability that is a dark chocolate with a soft center? So how many darks do we have with a soft center? That's 5, and it's out of a total of 36. What is the probability that it has a hard center? So there's 20 that have a hard center, and that's out of 36. So it'd be 20 over 36, and you can just leave it like that. Question 19. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A to shape B. So there's a few different types of transformations you can have. You can have reflections, rotations, enlargements, translations. This one is going to be a rotation, or it could be an enlargement. I think for this one, it would be easier just to do it as a rotation. And I can see this one has appeared in the opposite direction. So it's going to be a rotation of 180 degrees. And we need to find the center of rotation. So the way you can do that, you just use your tracing paper, and I would probably try this point, and this is the actual point that it would be. So it would be 0, 0. Question 20. Use Pythagoras to work out the value of x. Pythagoras is just a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, where c is the longest side and a and b are the shortest side. It doesn't matter which way around. So the easy way to do this is if you have a longer side, you're going to square them, you're going to add them, and you're going to square root it. So we're going to square them first. So 17.2 squared, add 12.9 squared, add them together, and then we're going to square root that answer. Just type that into your calculator. So we have 17.2 squared plus 12.9 squared, and the square root of that is 21.5. And you can see it's longer than the other two, so that makes sense. Question 21. The three-figure bearing of B from A is 0, 21. This is saying if I start at A and I go to B, so I'm starting at A and I go clockwise to B, that angle is 21 degrees. Work out the three-figure bearing of C from A. So this means I'm starting from A and I'm going towards C. So if I start at A and I go to C, that's going to be these two angles added up together. So I'm doing 21, add the 58, that'd be 79. And it actually helps us, it tells us that it needs it as a three-figure bearing. So bearings will always have three figures. So if it has only 2 digits, you would write 0, 7, 9. Just like 0, 0, 2, 1, you wouldn't write 21 on its own. Question 22. How many edges does a triangular prism have? A triangular prism is just a triangle that's been repeated all the way through. So we've got a triangle at the front, a triangle at the back, and they're just joined together. Let's count how many edges there are. The edges are the straight lines. So we've got 1, 2, 3 on that first triangle. We've got 1, 2, 3 on the back triangle. And then on the middle bit, we've got 1, 2, 3. So 3, 6, 9 edges altogether. Question 23. 3 shops sell the same type and size of lip balm stick. So we've got shop A, shop B, and shop C. Which shop is the best value for 8 sticks, and what is the total cost in that shop? So let's do each shop one at a time. So we'll do shop A first. So each lip balm is costing £2.39, and we multiply that by 8 because we want 8 sticks. So £2.39 multiplied by 8, which is £19.12. Let's do shop B. So this time it's buy one, get one half price. So the first one is going to cost £3.08, but the second one is going to be half of that price. So it's going to be £3.08 divided by 2. So far we have the price of 2 of them. We need to multiply that by 4 because we want the price of 8 sticks. Let's type that in. So I've got £3.08 plus £3.08 divided by 2. So that's the price of 2 of them. I need to multiply that by 4. That gives me a cost of £18.48. For shop C, this time we've got packs of 4 that cost £11.40 to start off with. And now they're 1/6 off. So because they're 1/6 off, the original price was worth 6/6 and we've taken off 1/6. So the new price is worth 5/6. So if we find 5/6, that will tell us straight away the new price of the pack. So all we do is multiply this by 5/6. This is the amount for a pack of 4, so we need to multiply that by 2 so that we get 8 sticks. So we're doing £11.40 multiplied by 5/6, and then we're multiplying that by 2. That gives me an answer of 19. Just comparing all of these, we're looking for the best value, so the cheapest one, which would be B, at £18.48. Question 24. The boundaries of a city form a trapezium. Population density is the number of people divided by the area. So I'm going to need to find the area here. How do you work out area of a trapezium? All you do is you add the parallel sides, so the two sides that don't meet up, the 10 and the 14. We divide that by 2, and then we multiply it by the perpendicular height, the height that's going straight up, not this diagonal. So let's do it for this one. A and B are 10 and 14. 10 add 14. Divide that by 2, and then multiply it by 8. 10 and 14 is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. And 12 times by 8 is 96. That would be 96 kilometers squared. Population density of the city is 9,450 people per square kilometre. Work out the number of people who live in the city. So we're trying to find this number here. So we know the population density is 9450 is equal to, that's what we're trying to find out, so I'll label that as x, and that's divided by the area, which is 96. I just need to solve this now. X is being divided by 96, so the opposite of that is timesing by 96. Times by 96 on both sides. So we have 9,450 times by 96, which is 907,200. That's equal to x. Question 25. Round 1 of voting for head student is taking place in a school. To reach round 2, a student must receive at least 4/15 of the votes. What is the largest possible number of students that can reach round 2? Let's just think the first student, so pupil 1, is going to receive at least 4/15. The second pupil will also receive at least 4/15. The third student is also going to receive 4/15. So far we have 4, 8, 12/15, but if we have one more person, that would be too many. That would take us to 16/15. So the maximum amount of people that we could have would be 3. Part B, there are 900 votes in round 1. Sean receives 180 votes. Amy draws a pie chart to represent the results. Here is her method to work out the angle needed for Sean. 180 divided by 900. So all she's done there is find what fraction is Sean getting of the votes and then multiplied by 100. So really what she's actually doing is finding the percentage. So it's 20%, but we're trying to find the fraction of the circle that he's going to be taking up. So is Amy's method correct? Tick a box. The answer would be no. Give a reason for your answer. She has worked out percentage and she needs to multiply by 360, not 100. Question 26. Here is a prism drawn on an isometric grid. Work out the volume of the prism. So to work out volume of a prism, we find the area of the cross section and we multiply that by the depth. The area of the cross section is just, if I split this up, what shape would I see? So I would see this shape, this L shape at the front. And the depth is just how thick it is. So that's going to be the 6. That means we need to find the area of this shape first. So I'm going to just label these sides. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That height is 2. That length is 2. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 2. I'll split it up into 2 rectangles because it's a compound shape. The area of this one, base times height, 4 times 2 is 8. The area of this one, that's 3 times by 2, which is 6. So the area of this cross section would be 6 add 8. That's that bit done. And then I need to multiply it by the depth. The depth here is 6, so I multiply that by 6. 6 add 8 is 14, so 14 times by 6, which is 84. And this would be in centimeters cubed because it's volume. Question 27. Tasha drove 198 miles. Her average speed for the first 3 hours was 45 miles per hour. Her average speed for the rest of the journey was 31.5 miles per hour. Work out her average speed for the whole journey. We're going to be using our distance, speed, time formula triangle here. Let's concentrate on this first part of the journey. So we have the speed, which is equal to 45. We have the time, which is equal to 3. So that means we're going to be finding out distance for this first part. So distance is equal to speed times by time. And here, 45 times by 3, 45, 90, 135. So far, she's done 135 miles. Let's figure out how many miles she has left over. So 198 take away 135. 198 take away 135, which is 63. So her average speed for the rest of the journey was 31.5 miles per hour. So the distance that she had left over is 63. The speed that she's going at is 31.5. We're going to find the time that it takes. So time is equal to distance divided by speed. Distance here is 63. 31.5 is the speed. I can see if I double this, I would get 63. So 63 divided by that would be 2. And now I have all the information that I need. I just need to finish this off. I'm trying to find the average speed for the whole journey. So I need to find speed is equal to distance divided by the time. I need the total distance divided by the total time. The total distance given in the question is 198. And the total time, it was 2 hours plus 3 hours, so 5 hours altogether. So 198 divided by 5, which is 39.6. If I take a look at the speeds, it was 45 and 31.5, and it's somewhere between them, so that makes sense, 39.6 miles per hour. Question 28. Here is the term-to-term rule for a sequence. Double the previous term and add 3. The first three terms of the sequence are a plus 1, 2a plus 5, 4a plus 13. Show that the sum of the first four terms is a multiple of 3. We've only got three terms so far, 1, 2, 3, so let's find the fourth term first. We need to double the previous term, so if I double this, I get 8a, and if I double this, I get 26, and then I need to add 3. So 8a and 26 add 3 simplifies to 8a plus 29, and we need to prove that the sum of them, so we need to add them all up together, and we need to show that they divide by 3. So we're going to factorize it and pull 3 out. Let's add them all up together first. So I've got a plus 1 and 2a plus 5, 4a plus 13, and 8a plus 29. I wrote it like this just to make it a little bit easier, adding them up together. So 29 and 13 is 42, 47, 48. 8, 12, 14, 15, so it's 15a. Can I divide both of these by 3? 4 add 8 gives me 12. That's a multiple of 3, so that means it does divide by 3. So I can do 3 on the outside of the bracket. What multiplies by 3 to give me 15a? Or 15 divided by 3 is 5, so it's going to be 5a. And 48 divided by 3 is 16. This means that it will be a multiple of 3 because you're multiplying it by 3 always. Therefore, the sum of the first four terms will always be a multiple of 3. Question 29. A straight line passes through 314 and 1232. Work out the equation of the line and give your answer in the form y equals mx plus c. So m and c are what we're trying to find out here. The m is the gradient. That's telling you how steep the line is. And the c is the y-intercept. That's telling you where it crosses the y-axis. We're going to first work out the gradient. And the formula to work out gradient is the change in y divided by the change in x. So these are my x coordinates and these are my y coordinates. So we're going to do change in y, and I'd prefer to do 32 take away 14 so that it leaves me with a positive. So 32 take away 14, and I have to do 12 take away 3 because I did it 32 take away 14. So you have to do it in the same order. 12 take away 3 on the bottom. 32 take away 14 is 18. And 12 take away 3 is 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2. So my gradient, my m value is 2. I've already got part of the answer. I next need to substitute one of the coordinates and this gradient into here so that I can find my c value, my y-intercept. So I'm going to choose this one because it's smaller values. So I'm going to choose 3 and 14 for x and y. We're going to substitute all of these in. So y here is 14 is equal to m, which is 2, x, which is 3, and we're trying to find out what c is, so we'll keep c as it is. 2 times 3 is 6. 14 is equal to 6, add c. We need to take away 6 from both sides. So 8 is equal to c. So now we have our value for m and we have our value for c. We just substitute those into here. So y is equal to the gradient 2x plus 8. That's the end of the questions for today. I'd recommend you go through the paper and write down all the topics that you struggle with. Feel free to contact me or reach out if you need any help with anything. Otherwise, you can just find more work solutions or past paper walkthroughs on my channel, including the ones from this year's set. I'll see you soon.